Baby Glock rocks! This is the Glock Model 26 9mm subcompact pistol. This is also called the Baby Glock. An excellent concealed carry pistol. Glock introduced the Model 26 in 1994, and it has been very popular with concealed carry. This actually, for me, it's been on my list just because I've wanted one of the small Glocks. But what's really funny is I've never had a chance to fire one. And because of that, I've been a little bit hesitant to buy one. I really like the Model 17 and the 19. Actually prefer the 19 a little bit more. And the 19 is their best-selling 9mm. But the Model 26 is surprisingly very easy to shoot. This is incredible. The recoil is about nil, even with the basic floor plate. I enjoyed shooting it with this almost as much as with this. I'm very surprised. Now, this is the standard magazine that comes with the gun, and one of the things that we're going to do, of course, is safety check the gun. The gun is loaded. I feel safe. I saw that recently on the video. I thought that was pretty funny. Actually, the gun is not loaded, and it is in safe mode. Always, when handling guns, you want to make sure that they are unloaded, unless you are in a dire situation, of course. This is the basic magazine that it comes with the floor plate. It, as you can see, it does not have room for your pinky. So you're firing without this support. Of course, they do have extensions here with the finger groove, which makes it a much more pleasant feel to it. But when you are carrying this thing, concealed carry, this can stick out a little bit, and I would recommend that you use this as a backup magazine, and to carry your gun with this flat floor plate. Now, one of the things that I did when shooting this gun, in the shooting sequence, was I shot this first with the flat floor plate, expecting it to be somewhat uncomfortable and difficult to shoot accurately. I was pleasantly surprised, to the point to where when I finished shooting with this, I thought, you got to be kidding me. That is just, it really surprised me. Now, my hands are not extra large. I have about medium-sized hands. So if you have large hands, it may be a little more difficult. But to be honest with you, and I don't know exactly why, but the way the recoil fits in this, I actually enjoyed shooting this more than I enjoy shooting the Model 17. Now, that might just be me, but that's just what I felt when I was shooting the gun. Of course, with this extended floor plate, it does give you a little more gripping surface to the gun. And then with your scallops here, which I really like, this is, of course, a 3rd generation Glock. I don't think they're making the 4th in this configuration. But it really cups into your hand. Now, one of the things I want to show you is this Glock can be covered pretty much in my hand. So it is very concealable. Of course, there is a trigger safety here that has to be depressed. If I grab a hold of this trigger and push without depressing this, it will not fire. So this is a safety. This is to be carried similar to what a revolver would be carried as, because it is a double action type. The trigger has to be pulled all the way back for the gun to fire. So no external hammer. And you can see the Glock is a very simple pistol with very few parts. In fact, has less parts than any other pistol made. But that keeps it simple, and that's one of the secrets of it. We're going to use some of the we're going to use some Full Metal Jacket just for shooting some rounds through it, and then we're going to go with the jacketed hollow points. So I'm going to use both of these through the Model 26 just to get a feel. You should always use your self-defense ammo through your pistol. You shouldn't. I know you want to train with Full Metal Jacket. It's great to shoot for practice and target, but you still need to use whatever load you're carrying through your pistol. This is a 124 grain jacketed hollow point. course, with the 3rd generation, we have finger grooves here, and then we have a nice checkering on the back strap with checkering here as well. Here is the slide release, which we're going to demonstrate with this. Of course, you don't want to release the slide release onto an empty chamber. It can cause some problems. So just write it down. Now, when you're loading your gun and you're racking your slide to feed around into the chamber, you want to pull it back and then just release it. Don't ride it back. Just let it release. For comparison, here is a Model 17 Glock. This is also a 3rd generation pistol. Every dimension here is the same except for barrel length and grip length, to the point that we can actually take the magazine directly out of here and put this into the Model 26, which will give it 17 rounds in this magazine. The 19, which holds 15 rounds, that magazine will also fit here. All the internal dimensions are pretty much the same, except of course for length in the grip and length in the slide. But a few other things that we're going to notice. Look at the end of the slide. As you can see, this is more squared off, whereas this has rounded, beveled edges. There's also beveling right here in the magazine well, which helps with putting in a fresh magazine. The standard model Glocks are not beveled that direction. Even though they're still pretty easy to put the magazine in, it does give you a little bit of an advantage with that beveled magazine. Of course, looking on it this way here, you can see that the recoil spring plug is different on these two, and I'm going to break this down to let you see it. But because of the shorter slide and the shorter barrel, it needs a little bit of a different system. Of course, the Glocks they're very simple to break down. Of course, let's double check to make sure there are no rounds in the chamber, which there are not. There's no magazine. We're going to pull the trigger in a safe direction, and then we pull the slide back just about 1/8 of an inch. Take these two tabs right here. When we press down, the slide will just move forward. Here's the slide. Let's take a look at this double recoil springs. Barrel comes right out. Hexagonal barrel in all of the smaller caliber Glocks. It's an octagonal barrel in the 45s. Larger recoil spring here over a smaller recoil spring. Now here we see in the 17, it's just a single recoil spring system. As you can see, we have a single straight recoil spring here with the double. This adds added reliability on the pistol as well. Of course, reassembly is pretty simple as well. Just slide your barrel in. Recoil spring goes in. The slide rails, and you're ready to go. This is the sight picture of most of your Glocks, unless you have night sights. I will say that night sights are very easy to install on these pistols. This can be just driven out, and your rear sight, there's a dovetail here for your rear sight. There's a hex screw that this will fit into with a little Loctite. Very easy to change out. In fact, I will be changing this one out coming up soon. I just bought this weekend, so I haven't really done a lot to the pistol itself. Now, with all Glocks, the trigger pull is about 5.5 pounds. These weigh 19.75 ounces, just under 20 ounces unloaded. And the length is 6.79 inches total and 1.18 inches wide. The height is 4.17, just to give you a feel. And the barrel length is just a little under 3.5 inches. It's 3.46 inches, so just a little bit under. The reason that Glock came out with this version was to rival, your small Chief Specials, Smith & Wesson 5-shot revolvers. About the same size, but yet you have 10 shots in the magazine, and of course you can have extra magazines for super quick reloading. To me, one of the biggest advantages of Glock, and I like a lot of different kind of pistols, don't get me wrong, but one of my favorite parts about the Glock is how low the slide is and the sight picture is in your hand. a lot of the other pistols that are out there that are similar to the Glock have higher sights, the slide is higher, and the sights are higher. Now, a lot of people like that. In fact, SIG and the Springfield Armory, I think the M&P Smith & Wesson is a little bit more in line with this, but they tend to ride higher in your hand. Now, I'm used to shooting 1911s, been shooting them for years. Even though the grip angle is totally different on these pistols, the sight picture is more closer to what I like to shoot. So that's just my personal preference. But like I say, a lot of people like that higher sight profile. But for me, I like this. Here's the box that it comes in. And as you can see, it's a nice box with Glock right on the top. It does come with a cleaning rod and a brush and 2 magazines, magazine loader. Of course, here are the extra parts from the Pierce grip. The owner's manual, of course, is in here. And then there are 2 fired rounds from the factory that they include in here as a test rounds. So this is what you get. To be honest, this is a really nice box. Much better than the old style box that they used to have. So just a nice addition. You can keep your pistol in here, and then it has little tabs here that close up. But as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Baby Glock rocks. These are awesome. Woo!